Hello, welcome back. I don't think you've seen my face in a podcast for a while, but welcome to the Girl Math Podcast. This is the first episode and I am so ready to help you guys and help you through your 20s. I think being in your 20s is super hard to navigate, and I've got some experiences. I've gone away, I've experienced life a little bit, and I'm ready to talk about it. So this, if you guys are watching on YouTube, is my little puppy Pickles. She is very cute. She's sleeping, but she's here for the ride and the journey of girl math. So fake it till you make it. I think this is such an important topic. Fake it till you make it is a fine line between confidence and action, with a hint of delusion. You have to be a little bit delulu, let's be real, to even get to where you want to be. If you've got big goals or small goals, whatever it is, and you don't feel capable enough, delusion has got you. Have you ever heard a sports person say your mind will give up before your body does? And from my personal experience, so true. If you've got a weak mind, it will manifest into your body. It's weird. But today we're going to talk about tips and all things confidence, and how you can boost your confidence, and how you can fake it till you make it. And I'm going to give some examples of what I've been through to get to where I am and things like that. For you listening, you might want to just start a podcast, you might want to start a YouTube channel, and you might want to start a business, but you're too scared to do it. Or you might not feel as confident with your partner or in bed or whatever it is. I got you. Let's talk about it. I think these are quite two common ones in our society in the 20s, for girls especially, because life is not easy being a girl sometimes in this generation. I just think there's so much on the internet, it's overwhelming, and I know I'm contributing to the internet right now, but there's just so much information, and obviously my advice is solely from personal experience, so I'm only saying what works for me, but I'm also quite lazy, so I feel like if you're lazy too, this might work for you. Anyways, let's talk about how people think of us versus how we think of ourselves. Now, I know people say, you shouldn't care what people think of you, which is so true, but it's important to think about it. The first thing I think is really important is, especially for people that's dyslexic like me, it's really hard, but avoid using filler words. I think this is so crucial to come across powerful or come across confident. So my number one hack to avoid this is slow down your speech. You don't have to talk for 1,000,000 miles an hour, because I know that's easily done, but slow down and breathe and think about what you're saying. Less is more. The most smartest person in the room says the least amount of words. Say what you need to say, but honestly, I'm such an advocate for just listening to people and analysing the room, because the moment you do that, you're going to then see who's worth your time and who's not, who's going to put in the effort and who's not. Like, I will always make the effort for my friends, right, to meet up, for example, but there'll be occasions where I'm thinking, I'm doing this too much, I'm calling them too much, and let's see if they make the effort. And if they don't, I know this is kind of weird, but if they don't make the effort back, I will then completely back off and be like, ooh, okay, maybe, she's not giving the amount of effort that I am, and, don't really need that in my life. But that's just me. But, it's worked wonders with my circle. And at the moment, I'm just so happy with my friends and who my friends are at the moment. I just think, yeah, I'm so happy. But anyways, now the second one is purposeful movements. Now, have you ever been at work and you have nothing to do? Say you're on like a shift. So I used to work at a coffee shop, and I would have nothing to do at loads of different times of my shift, and I would pretend to be doing work. And by that, I would be storming around the shop, making sure I'm like picking up napkins or just like the randomest thing. But the moment you just walk with purpose, people do not question you. And the people around me are like, cool, what's she doing? She knows what she's doing. Like, it is all to do with the confidence that you're radiating, and people won't question you, and that's amazing. And I just hate when people question me, because it makes me question myself, and I'm like, because I have really low self-esteem as it is, like I said. So the moment someone questions me, I'm like, oh yeah, actually you might be right. And then that kind of just makes you liable to being walked all over. So yeah, you don't want that. And then the third one I put down was this one's slightly more tough to do actually, but mirroring other people around you. So I'm not saying copy them exactly because you're insecure. That's not the way to do it. I just mean, if you're intimidated by someone, this is a really good hack. If you're intimidated by someone, so I've had moments where I really struggle to maintain eye contact, and I start then worrying where my eyes are going and what I'm saying and how I am, and like my body just kind of shuts down and I start overthinking. And you know, have you ever thought of like, shit, am I looking at them too much? Am I looking at their eyebrows too much? And then you look at their forehead, you're like, actually no, I've seen a video on that where you do that, and then they think that you're just judging them, and it's like, oh god. So there is a hack I have for eye contact actually, which is the triangle. I think it's that way round. So the bottom is at your eyes and then the pointy bit is at their nose. Obviously you don't want to look at their lips, it looks like you're gonna fucking kiss them, mate. Just look at the nose, but then it kind of looks like you're judging the nose, but they can't really tell because it's very subtle. So you want to look at the different eyes and then the nose, and then keep kind of doing that, but not obviously a lot, just every 10 seconds or so, and that tends to work. But yeah, by mirroring, I guess I mean, if they're walking in with a sense of authority, like that makes you feel very small as a person, even more so than you did before. So maybe if they do a hand movement, you kind of like speak to them with hand movements. Small details will really help your confidence. So that's kind of it for the physical aspect of things, because I'm going to let you into a little secret, right? People will say you need to work on your mental before you work on your physical. I am the complete opposite. I am the type of person that I'm so weak-minded, I have to physically do something to trick my brain. So doing these things will help me slowly but surely understand in my brain that I can do things. So there's a very famous writer called Ralph Waldo, and he says, and it's a very simple quote but very effective, it says, you'll do the thing and you'll have the power. So you literally just have to do it and you'll prove yourself wrong, basically. There's actually no better feeling than proving yourself wrong, you know. Like when I ran this half marathon, I'm pretty sure I tricked myself into doing it and I just kind of completed it. I wasn't really thinking, I was just sort of in a flow state. But you can't wait for confidence to come to you. You've got to just nail at it a bit at a time, and you've just got to, it's more of an action thing. Like it's not necessarily, you can't sit and think about your confidence. I always used to think, oh, I got to sit down and think about my confidence and think about what I can do better and all this stuff. No, you've got to physically do stuff. I never thought I was a runner. I'm now a runner. I never thought I could run a 5k, let alone 20k. I never thought I could hit a PB under an hour in a 10k race. I never thought I would be running races regularly. You know, I never thought I would be running in a running club for fun. I never thought I'd be doing a degree. I'm fucking doing a degree. I'm in my last year of uni. How the fuck has that happened? Right, delusion. We're on the topic of delusion now. So, I know you guys have big goals and big dreams. If you are out there and you feel like you are destined for more, I am telling you, delusion is your best friend. I swear I have lived my life delusionally, if that's even a word, since I was like the age of 8. Since I was vlogging and making YouTube videos to my sister, I have been delusional since the Alfie days. It's a massive topic, delusion, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. You have got to tell yourself and tell close people around you, not everybody. I mean, I have the mistake of telling everyone, right? I will tell people my dreams and my goals. And I know that's very controversial, but if I don't do that, I'm never gonna get myself in situations where I'm gonna lead towards that dream, you know? And I love being open about my goals and my dreams. It's just something that I know people really appreciate when I say that. And I know that's weird, but a lot of my friends are like, wow, Corey, I can't believe how open-minded you are and all of this stuff. I wish I could do that. And I'm like, yeah, man, you actually can. And I'm like opening their eyes to different things and not being so caught in the matrix. Do you know what I mean? So where has delusion got me? Now, delusion has made me a very high achiever. I have always been a high achiever, but never to the extent where I can do multiple things at once. I'm very, don't want to say ADHD, but ADHD, where I can't really do multiple things at once. It has to be one thing at a time. I'm just doing multiple things at once. I'm getting a degree, I'm running marathons, I'm training for different things, I'm maintaining a relationship whilst being a mum. Not obviously a mum, but a mum to 3. I do singing on the side. I love writing music. I'm learning different instruments. I play the piano. I make YouTube videos. I have a podcast now. Like, there's just so many things I love doing, but I'm very creative as well. So I love picking up stuff and just doing it. I have 3 amazing pets. I have 2 dogs and a cat. I always wanted dogs and I never knew how I'd get them. I'm the type of person that says, so if someone's like, oh, Corey, but you don't have $2,000, I'll be like, well, I know I'll find it somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And I'll find it. I don't know how, but it will happen. So delusion has got me far. Point blank, period. Just start being delusional. Start telling your friends. Start telling yourself. Start telling yourself before you tell your friends, actually, because you might have those sorts of people in your life where they'll be like, what, are you stupid? Obviously I've got that when I've said that, and I've sort of then been like, okay, not opening up to you again. But then it's proved to me who my true friends are and who aren't. So how do we view ourselves? How you view yourself is very important, and a big factor of that is your morning routine. Now, I want you, if you do that, to wake up. Don't leave your phone next to you. Put it in another room. Wake up, look at yourself in the mirror, and give yourself a high five. Now, this is something Mel Robbins, I don't know if you ever heard of Mel Robbins, amazing woman. She taught me to do that in her podcast. Is give yourself a high five, give that pep talk, because it is gonna set you up right for the day. And you need to do that self-talk and that inner work, you know. As much as you won't believe it at first, you'll feel stupid doing it at first, but after a while, you'll be like, I got this. You know, the first time I properly tried it was when I did the half marathon, and I was not feeling like it. Don't get me wrong. When I woke up, I was like, this is not it. But I gave myself a high five. I spoke to myself. I listened to some motivational music and podcasts. And I was like, you know what? I actually got this. I have legs. I have lungs that work. I have arms. I can do this. What's stopping me? Literally, what is stopping me? And that's something I will advocate. If you don't think you can do something, you best believe you can. You can. You are lucky enough to have legs, to have arms, to have a brain, to have eyes, to have sight, to have hearing. You can fucking do it. I don't want to hear no excuses. Sorry, I got that little rant out of the way. But yeah, first impressions matter. This is another thing. Now, I never really thought, first impressions, loads of people say that first impressions count, and they fucking do. They set you up for who you are. They set you up of how you perceive yourself as well. Because when so many people perceive you a certain way, you then start perceiving yourself a certain way. If someone will perceive me in a certain way, I'll start perceiving it myself. But that's probably because I'm not very strong in myself and my mind. But I'm working on it. But for you guys that have the same thing, you want to make sure your first impression is good. So I'll give you an example. The other day I went to work. It wasn't necessarily a first impression, but it was the impression I was giving. So I went to work super, super ill, super bunged up, you know, but I made sure my face had makeup on. I made sure my hair was done nicely. My girlfriends were like, oh my God, Corey, you look really nice today. And then I spoke and they were like, oh my God, you're so ill. And they wouldn't have been able to tell because I, you know, covered it up really nicely. And I think my friends were like admirable of that, because they kind of were like, if I was ill, I would not be in right now, let alone looking like you look nice. So, you know, I have good friends though, to be fair. But anyways, and then I just kept going on with the day, and even my boss was like, oh my God, you sound terrible. You need to go home. Sent me home. But, you know, it was the effort that counted. It was what I put into myself made me come across as if I value myself enough to show up and actually come to work, and not only come to work, but come to work with makeup on. And, you know, partly the reason I came to work with makeup on was because I was really ill and looked really bad, but I still tried. So yeah, do you know what I mean? Things like that really. Just showing self-respect for yourself will allow others to really respect you. Now, let's talk about the negative side of faking it till you make it. I know there's people out there that don't believe in faking things, and I'm very like that. I am a very authentic person. I love authenticity. I can't be fake. I just can't do it. But when it comes to achieving my goals and my dreams, best fucking believe I'm faking that confidence. Gary V, I saw a video. Gary V, love the guy. He gives really good advice, but he did say fake it till you make it is the most bullshit advice, because it doesn't really align with today's society, in a sense that people are pretending to be entrepreneurs when they're not even one yet. And I think that is very true. There are people on the internet that claim to know something or claim to do something, which I find really annoying. A big example would be the fitness advice on TikTok. You see so many people claiming to be fitness gurus, and you know, the things they're saying are scientifically wrong, and it's really damaging to our society. And it just annoys me. It really annoys me. But I couldn't get into that rant a whole nother video, because obviously I'm a runner now. So like any of that stuff really messed with my brain, and it gave me really bad eating disorders actually. But anyways, we will move on from that. But yeah, there's a very negative side to faking it till you make it. And you've just got to be very careful with how you do it. Example 1, selling your soul. If you want something really, really badly, you will do things that won't align with your morals and your values as a person. This is something I almost got swayed into doing recently. I'll give you a little story time. So, as we all know, I love content creation. I love meeting people that love content creation also. And I want to eventually be able to have a platform to help people. That is my goal. And I got invited to, I mean, this isn't the only thing I've been invited to, but it's just the most recent example. I got invited to a YouTube video. Can I say what it was? It was basically one of those ones where you get loads of girls and like a guy. I don't know how else to describe it without giving it away. That really does not align with my morals. I guess at first I didn't really quite know what it was until I got the brief. So when I got the brief, I was like, yeah, hell no, this is not for me. But when I first got the call about it, obviously I was like, oh my God, yes, I am so down, because any opportunity that's thrown at me, I say yes. And this is another thing. Don't say yes to absolutely everything, because it can really damage your success. And I'll explain later, which is very controversial also. But yeah, I initially was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Come on, let's go, sign me up. And it got to the next day and I was kind of like, this does not align with who I am. It's not that I don't like those shows. Like, I love watching them, don't get me wrong, it's funny, but it's just not who I am. And I have to realize I also have a boyfriend. If he was to go on that show, I would be like, what the hell are you doing? Do you know what I mean? And like at first he was like pretty chill about it. Like he was like, yeah, go on, do what you want, because obviously he supports what I do. But I was like, actually, no, I don't want to do that. I've got another example. When you were younger and you wanted to fit in and you wanted to be the cool kid, you got offered a cigarette. Did you take it or did you leave it? If you took it, it's because you wanted to fit in. You never used to really want to just have a cigarette. When you're younger and you have your first cigarette, you don't want to go, I want that cigarette now. So I don't mean it in the sense of you can't align with your morals. You've got to align with your morals when it comes to faking it till you make it. You've got to embody who you want to be. You can't embody someone who's not you and take the opportunities that aren't you. I can't describe it. I just know. I'm not saying I'm better than that, but I'm saying I deserve and I know I'm worthy of a lot more than what that is, and I'm not going to settle for that. And that's absolutely fine. That doesn't make you a fucking asshole. It just makes you respect yourself. Find your morals, find your goals, and work from there. Let's get on to what I said earlier. So, saying yes to every opportunity can jeopardize your success. I know this is very controversial. I know a lot of people are going to be like, say yes to every opportunity. I know, and my friends know, I've voice noted them many a times, and I've been like, I feel like such a fool. I've said no to this amazing opportunity, and I really feel like that's holding me back. And I used to be the type of person to be like, take the opportunity, take it. Now I'm kind of like, I want to be able to choose my opportunities. And a big example would be, I'm working with a brand at the moment. I've actually got it in right now. These hair extensions. Now, I accepted that because I actually use it. I use their hair. Oh my God, my voice just... It excites me and it aligns with who I am. I'm not going to ever sell anything that I don't truly believe in, unless it was good money, but, you know, got to get that cash. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm always going to try my best to align with what I believe in and never sell anything false either. I think that's really important. But yeah, I guess saying yes to everything is going to ruin your reputation as well. I mean, obviously the example I gave with that YouTube video I got invited on, if I was, say, I know that edits can be misconstrued. I mean, I'm an editor myself. I know how manipulative it can be. So I also thought to myself, they could put something way out of context and I could be scrutinized for it. And I just thought, I'm not going to risk that, because that's my first ever sort of appearance online, like with audience, and I can't risk having that bad energy towards me on the first go when I've been doing this for like 10 years. It would really damage me as a person. Also, I'm not very confident when it comes to that either, so I just knew in my head and in my heart that was not for me, and I'm not going to do something that doesn't align with me or that I don't feel comfortable with. I knew for a fact I did not feel comfortable with that. Why would I put myself through that, you know? There's a fine line between being uncomfortable and being unconfident. I think you can get a bit mixed up where you can just sort of be so close to your dreams that you run away from it, but also you can say yes to the wrong things. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just would like to end this podcast on a good note, which is, do the thing and you'll have the power. Just do it. And if you want any advice on how to do anything, ask away. Honestly, ask away. I'm open. And I just want to help you guys, because girl math is all about girls. I don't know if you guys have seen, this says 2 + 2 = delusional. I thought that was quite funny. And this one says cash is free, because honestly, cash is free. I don't feel like I'm spending any money. There's so many girl math things I want to talk about on this podcast, but I thought, you know, a good topic to start with would be fake it till you make it, because hopefully me faking an audience on this podcast would lead to me having an audience on this podcast. You never know. And I hope to show you the journey of getting there, so you guys can believe in yourselves as well. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope this has been helpful. I really do. And you're not alone in anything you feel, because trust me, I'm going through it too. So you have been watching or listening to the Girl Math Podcast. I love you all. Thank you for listening, even if it's 2 people. I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.